Hi, welcome back. Today we're going to be covering number 150 through 152 in your Essential Elements Book 1. What are these weird things that look like donuts? Let's find out together. Today we're going to go over a new type of note, which we call the whole note. Previously in the book we've had quarter notes, we've had half notes, we've had eighth notes, and those are all cool, but we get to do the whole note. It looks like a donut, but it's not a donut. It's just a long note that you're going to hold for 4 complete counts. Conversely, we also have a rest that is going to be the opposite of the note. So if the note means we're sustaining a note for 4 beats, the rest means we're going to be silent for 4 beats. Now, the big confusion for most people comes when you're trying to differentiate a whole rest versus a half rest. So here's how I do that. A whole rest, if you can use your imagination, looks like somebody dug a hole underneath the second to top line on the staff. You also know that a hole goes below, so it goes below the line. Now, the half rest looks a little bit different. It's still a rectangle, but we're going to be above the line. And I think it kind of looks like a little hat, and a top hat goes on the top half of your head. That's the only way I've been able to keep them straight. But honestly, most of the time, you can just use your brain and figure out, hey, there's nothing in this measure. It's probably a whole rest. Versus, oh, there's some notes. It's probably a half rest then. Looking at 150, we have some whole notes in action. When we are in 4/4 time, our whole note is going to take up the entire measure. So it's going to be counted 1, 2, 3, 4, and you're not going to rearticulate until you get to 1 of the following measure. I know the book has it subdivided out 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and you don't need to do that right now if that's going to complicate your life. Just simply count 1, 2, 3, 4. Once you hit that bar line, we're going to count over and we're going to have 1 again, and that's when you're going to switch your note. The one other thing to note is that when we have a whole rest, these are a little bit goofy. So in this instance, we're in 4/4 time. This would be 4 counts, but this rest can also be used for other time signatures to signify that the entire measure is silent. So when you see this, it means you're not playing for an entire measure, no matter what your time signature is. Looking finally at 151, it notes that you should use a slow bow, and they are not joking. You are going to be holding this note 4 times longer than your quarter note. So if you're playing at 60 beats per minute, a quarter note is 1 second. A whole note would be 4 seconds. That's a lot longer, and you are likely to run out of bow if you're moving too fast. Another pro tip, if we're starting on down bow, like this says, start at the frog. And then we should be all the way at the tip when on a return trip. If you're doing these things, whole notes shouldn't really be that challenging for you. Just be sure that you're counting them correctly. 1, 2, 3, 4, and when I say 1, that's when I'm going to switch. Alright, now that we know that the donuts are actually whole notes and you don't get to eat them, and we know how to count them and hold them correctly, let's try playing 152, long ago. I will be playing viola today, so if you're a violin, your sound's going to be up an octave, and cellos, you're going to be an octave below mine, but our pitches will still be the same. Go ahead, pull out your metronome when you're practicing. I have mine set on 100 as our tempo marking is moderato. This is a good moderate speed. This will be for a quarter note. Here we go, 152. 1, 2, ready. Did you hold all your whole notes for 4 beats? I hope that you did. Remember, we're not going to count 1, 2, 3 and then cut off. When you're saying 4, it's when you get all the way to 1. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Then we're off. I also hope if you're a violin or viola that you were using fourth finger when it was marked, and if you weren't, make sure you're trying to use that fourth finger. If we don't use our pinky, it's not going to get any better. I hope this was helpful, and I hope you're able to practice and get it up to full speed real soon. See you in the next video.